An operator is simply a symbols that is used to perform some operation. If I consider C program or C++ or Java, we discussed selection statements, along with that iteration statement. If I use division operator, then I'm going to get the output quotient. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on Introduction to .NET Programming. I'm Revati, faculty from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram First Grade College, the Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, before going to start my today's session, let's revise the topic which I have discussed in my last session. So dear student, in my last session, I started with how to define variables and what are the rules I want to follow while defining variables. Along with that, I have discussed scope of variables. So there are three types of variables, that is class variable, then method variable, and last one we discussed, that is block level variable. So dear student, method level variable itself called local variable, and this block variable is also called by the name loop variable. Along with that, I have discussed boxing and unboxing. So dear student, here boxing and unboxing are nothing but the type conversion. So converting one data type to another and vice versa, together called boxing and unboxing. Now, in my today's session, I'm going to deal with C# operator. Along with that, I'm going to deal with decision making in C#. Along with that, I'm going to deal with C# if statement. Along with that, I'm going to deal with C# if else statement. So dear student, from the examination point of view, this decision making in C# are the very important topic. Anyway, let's begin our today's topic with the concept C# operators. Anyway, what is operator? So dear student, here operators are nothing but the symbols. I have plus symbol, I have minus symbol, I have division symbol, I have multiplication symbol. So all these symbols are called operator. So an operator is simply a symbols that is used to perform some operation. So dear student, if I have A equal to 10, B equal to 20, and if I write C equal to A and B. So dear student, I want to add, or I want to subtract, or I want to multiply, or I want to find the difference. So what operation I want to perform, that symbol I'm going to write between two operand. So if I write A plus B, then I'm going to perform addition operation. And this operator, that is plus, equal, or the example for an operator. So here operators are nothing but the symbol that is used to perform operations. And what are the operations? we can able to perform, that is arithmetic operator, relational, logical, bitwise assignment, unary operator and ternary operator. So dear student, before going to explain arithmetic, relational or logical operators, let me to explain the type of operator. So there are three type of operator: binary operator, unary operator and ternary operator. So unary means what? I have only one operator. Example, a plus plus, a minus minus. These are the example for unary. That means I'm going to have only one operand. I'm going to have only one operand. Then what about binary? Binary means what? Two operand. When I have two operands, then that is called binary operator. Then I have my third type, that is ternary operator. Ternary means what? Three operator. So I'm going to use three operators and it is named as ternary operator. So dear student, these are the three different types of operator. And what are the operations I can able to perform? Arithmetic operations, relational operations, logical operations, bitwise assignment, etc. Now I have C hash operator. See, I have plus, minus, star, division and modulus. These are the example for arithmetic operator. That means if I want to perform addition operation or multiplication or subtraction or division, or I want to get the remainder, then I can able to use arithmetic operator. Now I have relational operator. That means when I want to check the relationship between the variable, relationship between the variable in the sense what? If the given variable is greater than another variable, or if the given variable is lesser than another variable, or both the variables are equal. So here, to check the relationship between the variables, what are the operators I'm going to use, that is known as relational operators. Then I have less than or equal, along with that greater than or equal, I have equal and not equal. Along with that, I'm going to have logical operator. Anyway, dear student, all are familiar with the word logic gates. So, to perform or operation or to perform not operation. So these are the logical operations. I have and, I have or, and I have not. Now, if I want to perform bitwise operators, that is left shift, right shift, or I want to check and, or I want to check or operator, or I want to take the complements, then I have bitwise operators. Along with that, I have assignment operator. That means if I want to assign the value, that is a equal to b or a equal to 10, I'm going to assign the value. So I have plus equal, that is a plus equal 10. This is nothing but a equal to a equal to a plus 10. So instead of writing complete statement, I can able to shorten this statement, that is a plus equal 10. Similarly, for the subtraction, minus equal for the multiplication, division equal for the, that is modulus equal. So these are the some of the different types of C-hash operator. Along with that, I have binary operator. So, binary operator, I have unary operator. Along with that, I have ternary operator. Example for binary operator, plus plus minus minus, and ternary question mark and colon. So these are the some of the information regarding operators. Then I have decision making in C-hash. So dear student, if I consider C program or C++ or Java, we discussed selection statements, along with that iteration statement. So here selection statements are known as decision making. That means I have to take some decision based on this situation. For that, I'm going to use decision making. In C-hash programming, the if statement is used to test or check the condition. So, if I consider C-hash programming, I'm going to have if statement. And this if condition is mainly used to check the test condition. So, I'm going to use if statement to check or to validate the condition. And there are various types of if condition, that is, I have simple if statement. Simple if, one way branching. Then if else, that is two-way branching. Nested if statement, three-way branching, and I have if else ladder. So these are the four different of if statement supported by the C-hash programming. Now let me to discuss the first type, that is simple if statement or one-way branching. So dear student, the C-hash if statement test the condition. It is executed if the condition is true. So here C-hash program uses if condition to check the condition, and if the given condition is true, then it's going to execute. Now let me to consider the example here, that I'm going to visit car showroom. So what is the example? I'm going to visit car showroom. I want to buy the car. So I have the option only to buy the car. So I'm going to visit car showroom and I'm going to buy the car. So this is the correct situation and correct scenario. At the same time, if I try to buy some other vehicles like Jeep or van, then that is wrong, because I'm not going to have the option to buy van or Jeep. I have only one option to buy the car, because I'm into the car showroom. So I have option only to buy the car. Similarly, if I consider if statement, I have the condition. If that condition is true, execute the statement. If that condition is false, directly execute rest of the statement. So this is all about single if statement. So one condition, if that condition is true, execute. Else execute rest of the statement, and it is known as one-way branching or simple if statement. So dear student, now I have the flow chart. So this is the flow chart for if statement. So dear student, I'm going to write the condition here. If the particular condition is true, what I want to do? I want to execute the statement. If the particular condition is wrong, then what I want to do? I want to execute next statement, which is after if statement. So dear student, just think that I'm a student. I'm going to visit Vidhyaashram to join science. Now, the vacancy or opening for science is closed. So, what I want to do? Either I want to opt some other combination or some other specialization. I repeat, think that I'm a student and I'm going to visit Vidhyaashram College to admit into first year computer science. Now, if the openings are available, what I'm going to do? I'm going to admit into the computer science. If not, I'm going to choose some other courses. So here, if computer science, then get into the computer science. If not, other option, that is false, execute or select some other specializations like arts or commerce. So this is the simple example. Now, let me to consider simple example here. That is, this is the example for simple if statement. So dear student, what is my first statement in my C# programming? That is, I want to make use of system. Okay, I want to make use of system namespace. So what I will do? I'm going to include the statement like using system. Now I'm going to create the class. Okay, it's of type public, and what is my class name? That is if example. Inside this class, I'm going to create main function, or I'm going to write main function. So main function, what is the return type? Void, because this main function does not return any value. For that reason, it is void. And to execute or to invoke this main function, I does not require any object. For that reason, it is static. Now, this main program is applicable throughout the program. For that reason, it is public. Inside main program, I'm going to define the variable called number, and I'm going to assign the value 10. And when I write this statement, the memory is allocated for this number. So what is variable? It is mainly used to hold the address. That means this number is always going to point address, that is memory address. That means I can able to access the value 10 with the help of memory address or memory address name number. Now, if what is number? Number is 10. 10 modulus 2. So dear student, please make a note here. What is the difference between divide and modulus? So dear student, if I use division operator, then I'm going to get the output quotient. And if I want to get remainder, then I'm going to use modulus operator. So here 10 divided by 2. So 2 5s are 10. Answer is 0. So that is remainder is 0. So if 0 equal to 0, if this condition is true, then this if statement is going to execute. So this is true. But what is the mistake I have here? That is, C# programming is case sensitive, and I want to use certain names as it is or certain keywords as it is. And if I consider system, in system S is capital letter. If I consider console, C is capital letter. And if I consider methods, I have W capital letter. Then L is capital letter. And what about this one? I'll get the error because here I'm going to compare two values. So it is relational operator. If it is relational operator, then I want to make use of two assignment statement. So I want to write 2 equal to 0. So I want to write 2 equal to 0. And this is true. For that reason, I'm going to display the value that is, it is a even number. And I'm going to close the curly brace. To display the output, I'm going to use the method or function which is stored in the class called system. So these are the methods. This method is always present in the console, and where this console is present, it is present in the system. So dear student, I repeat once again that this write line function or method present in the console, and this console is always present in the system. Now I have my second type, that is C hash if else statement. So I have two possibilities. If the condition is true, execute first statement. If the given condition is false, then execute next statement. That means which is written in the else part, it's going to execute. The C hash if else statement also test the condition. So here if else statement is mainly used to test the condition, and here I have two possibilities. One is true and another one is false. For that reason it is called two-way branching. It executes the if block if the condition is true. Otherwise, it's going to enter into the else block. That means if the given condition is false, then it's going to enter into the else part. I have the syntax here. If I'm going to specify the condition. If this condition is true, execute this statement. Else, I'm going to execute rest of the statement. Now, dear student, I have the flow chart. Here, I'm going to write the condition. Okay, here I'm going to write the condition. Okay, if this condition is true, execute. Else, execute rest of the things which is in the else part. So, dear student, let me to consider the example here that I'm going to visit Vidhyaashram to get admitted. Okay, my intention is to get admit. So, what I will do, I'm going to admitted to first PUC, but here first I will try science combination. If I get the science combination, okay, fine, I'm going to enrolled into science. But if I don't have any science combination, then what is my next option? That is commerce. So I'm going to write the condition here. Okay, if that condition is true, okay, I'm going to enrolled into science. If I don't have any science combination, then the next option commerce. Now, dear student, let me to consider simple example here. I have same program what I have discussed, but here the condition is different. Previously, I have only if condition, but here I have if else condition. So, I have same program, same replica, but only the difference here, I have one more statement which is written in else part. So I have using system, I have same class name, and I have main method. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to read the input. So I'm going to read the input. So I have console and I'm going to read the input. That means first I'm going to display the message to the user that they want to enter some input. Okay, so I'm going to display the message to the user. Now, see here, I'm going to read the input. Dear student, please make a note here. To display, I have the function write line. But to read input from the keyboard, I have the method or function called read line. With the help of console, I'm going to invoke read line. Now, I want to convert whatever the input I have read to integer. For that, I have the method. Okay, convert whatever the input you have read to integer. Now, what I want to do, I want to check the given number is prime or not. So, dear student, I want to check the given number is even or odd. So, example here, think that I have read 11. Now, I want to find the remainder. So, 11, 2 5s are 10 and 1 is remainder. Now, if number mod 2, so what is the value I have? 1 equal to 0. If this condition is true, it's going to execute. It is a even number. But this result is false. Okay, this condition is false because 1 is not even number. Because 1 is not even number, so this condition is false. So what output I'm going to get? I'm going to get it is odd number. Then close the curly brace. This is the way I can able to use two-way decision making in my program. So dear student, in my today's session, I started with operators. Along with that, I have discussed decision making. In that, I have covered what is if statement, how to use if statement. Along with that, I have discussed if else statement with example. Anyway, dear student, let's meet in my next session with the informations like C hash, if else, if ladder statement. Along with that, C hash switch statement. These are the two topics I'm going to deal in my next session. So dear student, don't forget to watch my next session. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.